Hey, what's going on, everyone? Peter J. Cruz here. Wanted to talk to you today about one of my favorite topics, and that's generating traffic for your website. There's all kinds of methods, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on each specific one because obviously we don't have the time for it in one sitting. But what I'll probably do is kind of highlight some of my favorites, and then we'll go from there and maybe break down each one into like a series or something, kind of like I was doing with the Tools for the Network Marketer. So with this traffic generation series, let me go and start this off with a few of my favorites. In no particular order, just whatever comes to mind, as I go through. So first one, I think I'll probably go ahead and talk to you about today. First is Google AdWords. Now, Google is probably not the be-all, end-all. It really doesn't come any more fast and furious than Google, honestly. But you can run up quite an expensive bill on Google if you're not doing it right, because they have a dummy tax, so to speak. For the uninformed, as you start making kind of beginner mistakes going through your campaigns and start out with Google, you definitely start paying more for your clicks than someone who's a little bit more experienced, maybe knows how to tweak their ads just right or whichever. But then that's one just keep in mind. Some resources I can point you in the direction of to help build your comfort level, I guess you could say, with Google would be, of course, Perry Marshall's Definitive Guide to AdWords, which is a really good, great course. Another, and I'll provide you the links down below. Another one would be Mike Dillard's PPC Domination. Another great course taught by Jim Yagi. Great course. I learned a lot from that course alone. You put the two together, and you got a 1-2 punch, and it's just hard to beat, And then, of course, there's a variety of other marketing systems that have their own training to kind of clue you in on Google AdWords in case you hadn't gotten to any of the other courses before. But one thing that they all have in common is they all point back to Perry Marshall's book, the Definitive Guide to AdWords. So definitely I would consider that a must-read. As much as I'd like to recommend the PPC Domination course, if you've got the money for it, great. If you don't, definitely get Perry Marshall's book and go from there. You're looking at like $60 versus $500. And so we'd love to say that course, start off with Perry Marshall's book, start off with his book and go from there. But definitely as you, if you start off inexperienced with Google, you're going to run into, you just start throwing up keywords blindly into your groups. In fact, what a lot of rookies end up doing with Google is they'll throw every single keyword they can find into one big giant ad group. And next thing you know, they've got hundreds of keywords in one ad group on their one campaign. And next thing you know, they're getting tons of impressions, but they're not getting any clicks because their ads are not keyed to the keywords that they've got in their group, because they've got 50 different zillion aspects of whatever it is they're marketing in one ad group, so it's not really targeted. And then you've got a number of ads that are just trying to cover the gamut of all these other keywords that they've got in their group. So one thing you're going to learn real early on in whatever course you end up getting is you want to keep your keywords more specific, more in a particular range of topics or whichever, and then you're going to key your ads for that specific ad group so that it relates to your keywords. See, all this relevant stuff plays big with Google. And as you start playing into this relevance game with Google and being a bit more specific with your ads and your website, and also ties in with your domain name. It gets real involved. But as you start tying everything all together, Google really loves you for it. And what ends up happening is they start charging you per click less for the position that you are on your page compared to someone else who maybe isn't as relevant. So let's say two people are paying the same, are bidding the same amount for a particular ad or keyword, and one person might be paying 20 cents less than another, or 50 cents less than someone else, because they've got a more relevant, at least according to Google, more relevant content. Their website, the domain name is relevant to the keyword, and their ad is relevant to the keyword's in both, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's real involved. So again, I won't get into a lot of specifics on it. I definitely recommend you check out Perry Marshall's book, definitive guide to AdWords. That being said, let me move on. Another one real quick that I like to, another method I like to do is list builders. And I mean, from the two that I probably would talk to you about today, real quick, Viral URL and List Joe. They both have their strong points. Basically, once you join them, but you can join them for free. Either one is free to join. But when you join, you're going to get a one-time offer to upgrade to what they call the gold package. Okay, and really the money is in the upgrade. It really is. And what I'd recommend you to do is take them up on whether you go with List Joe or with Viral URL. Get the upgrade. It's $197 up front. And they'll give it to you one time. If you skip it the first time and you decide to do it later on, I think they charge you like $67 a month. So you could see over the course of a year, $197 for 12 months versus $67 a month. I mean, you do the math and you pretty much figure it out yourself. So definitely do the upgrade. What the upgrade will let you to do is, for the two of them, both List Joe and Viral URL, is you'll be able to actually email 3,000 people every 3 days. Okay, so what that basically means, when you do the math out, is you're emailing about 1,000 people a day, whatever it is you want to offer them, or whether you want to send them to your to your capture page, or trying to sell them some item or course or whatever. So basically, when you do the math out, you're emailing 1,000 people a day. It's like 3,000 people, and you can email every 3 days on their cycle. The added benefit with Viral URL is that you can also cloak your links. So if you participate in say ClickBank and you got affiliates with ClickBank, then you can actually disguise your URL so no one can steal your commissions. But other than that, Viral URL and List Joe are both very similar in terms of the way they operate. List Joe has a nice little feature that I really like, that you can actually save your email for future use, and all you got basically do is just go down and when you come up on your third day, just go there and just select from the drop-down menu which email you want to send, one you've previously sent, and then it's just a matter of just selecting it from a drop-down list and hit send to list, and bam, I mean you're done. Whereas with Viral URL, you got to sit there and either type it up, or I just got everything saved into a Word document on my computer, and I just copy and paste it right into Viral URL. It's got the links in there already, and it just takes me like an extra minute, but not a big deal. But the ease of use, I guess, List Joe probably I'd have to give the hands down. But I think in terms of traffic and return, I would have to give the nod to Viral URL. Incidentally, I went ahead and I've got 2 Viral URL accounts, and I've got a third List Joe account. So I've got 2 of Viral URL and 1 of List Joe. So every day I'm emailing somebody, and when you do the math out, it's like 90,000 people a month, 3,000 people a day, and I forget what it is a year. I mean, I did at one point, and I forgot what the math was. I think I'm probably running short on time, so I'm going to cut it short there for today. I got some other methods here, and I'll talk to you about those in the next video. So thanks so much for tuning in, and be amazing, and talk to you soon. This is Peter signing out.